All right, we're live, Alvin?
Yes, we're live. Welcome.
Live from Derby City, the American Rotation Championship 2. This is our second event. This is our first match of the event. We have 10 players that qualified around the country. Playing American Rotation. If this is your first time seeing the game, I hope you enjoy it. The way the score works is balls 1 through 10 are worth 1 point each. Balls 11 through 15 are worth 2 points each. So there's 20 points available in each rack. These players are playing matches to 125 points. Tomorrow we'll have a single elimination, races to 150 points. This is our feature table. We have Rob Hall from Bumpers in Alabama, and he's playing Ozzie Reynolds, who is still currently playing out of pockets in Virginia, Newport News, but Ozzie is moving to Las Vegas at the end of this month. In a couple of weeks, actually, he's in the middle of the move right now.
Well, that's always an interesting place to visit and to live. Wow, that would be something else.
Yeah, Ozzie's actually going to take over the office, Q Sports International. He's going to manage the office there, taking over Mark Griffin's job. Ozzie runs the Action Pool Tour in Virginia, and he's done a really good job. All right, in this first rack, Rob scratched on the break, so Ozzie gets ball in hand. And I'll try to keep score with you as we go here. Keep you updated. Normally in the first rack of American Rotation, nobody gets ball in hand. But after this, we're going to alternate the break, and the breaker is going to start with ball in hand. That's something that freaks a lot of people out. They're not used to it. These players haven't played a lot on these tables. Everybody pretty much got here last night, traveled in, flew in, drove in. Tables are obviously perfect. Everything's very clean and fast. Ozzie's got a tough shot. His 5 ball. I can't see the exact colors of the ball, but that looks like the 5-6. Overcut it slightly. We are playing call shot, call safety, which means Ozzie was going for the 5 ball. So Rob has the choice to make Ozzie shoot again or take the shot himself. Here I'm pretty sure he's going to take it because he can see the 5 ball. While we're doing the commentary, we're not in the actual same room as that table, so I'm looking on the monitor, just like you are.
You got to use the cameras.
Alvin's hooking us up.
All right, we're just getting started here at the Derby City Classic. This is our first match. I want to welcome Joe Tucker. Welcome you, sir, to Inside Pool TV, to our broadcast, and we appreciate you very much being here.
Well, I
doing American Rotation.
You having us, Alvin.
Absolutely.
I appreciate what you do every single week, traveling the whole damn country, streaming from someplace different every week.
Well, we all do our part for the pool world, and it just happens to be my part. It is quite an interesting adventure, for sure. Okay.
I think Ozzie has a 5-0 lead. Rob scratched on the break. Playing a race to 125 points. This tournament here, a little miss on the 6 ball by Ozzie.
Kind of moved, as you can see, he was showing his arm movement there. He had a little arm movement in his swing.
And Alvin's never played American Rotation, so I'll be filling him in on the rules also. It's a call shot, call safe game, which means if a player misses a ball, you have the choice to make them shoot again.
I like those rules. Yeah, you get punished for your mistakes. I like that.
Yeah.
That's how the pros have been playing it.
Yeah. And it's also call safety, but you can't pocket a ball and call a safety. So if you call safe and accidentally pocket a ball, your opponent has a choice to make you shoot again. And that's kind of the same thing as 9-ball. You know, 9-ball, you could play safe and accidentally make a ball, and then you're stuck with it. Generally, in an American rotation, the first rack is generally the slowest because all the other racks start off with ball in hand. And it goes fast. We don't have players arguing over the racks. It's rack your own, break your own, and they start with ball in hand. And everybody that's playing the game absolutely loves it.
It keeps the tournament moving faster, too. It keeps everything on schedule.
The break... rack your own, break your own, start the rack with ball in hand has done so much for us. It eliminates a lot of arguing, all the argument during the racking portion of the show. And then it takes a lot of luck out of the break if a guy makes a ball and happens to get a shot or one guy doesn't. And then when they start the racks with the ball in hand, it just creates more of an equal opportunity. It's a little bit more interactive. That was a nice kick shot by Rob right there. Now, even when he was kicking, I'm not sure if he played safe or if he called that 6-ball. That's something that's...
Kind of looked like he called it.
I know, I know he hit the right side of it.
Yeah, because he left it right in the hole, so... But looks like Ozzie's going to have to jump. It should be a fairly simple little hop shot. Oh, he massayed it. Missed it.
Okay, so now he was probably playing that. Rob has the choice here to make him shoot again, unless Ozzie called it safety.
Well, they're in bank mode here at Derby City Classic, so you may see, if he can hit this ball thick, you may see a shot at the 6. He's going to give it back?
Yeah, he's giving it back to him.
All right, so Ozzie has a chance for a safety, or he can go for the bank if he likes.
And we are kind of juggling our schedule. We have 10 players playing today on Saturday in the American rotation, and a couple of the players are still in the bank tournament. So kind of juggling with that.
We'll see if Ozzie's one of those players. Okay, so he was trying to land safe behind the pile of the 7,
yeah.
11. He was trying to land back there with it, but he didn't quite get enough speed off them.
Yeah, I like how he played the cue ball, too, or else out of there, though. That was pretty good.
Creative shot. Unfortunately, it didn't roll as far as he needed it to, so maybe next time that would be rethink that shot.
And while I'm thinking about it, I want to thank everybody from Diamond Billiard Products for having us at this tournament. You know, that's the goal of the American Billiard Club Association. We want to qualify players for our national events. All 10 players that qualified here, they're all guaranteed $1,000 as soon as they show up. And we want to run our national event in conjunction with other promoters. You know, so when they have a pro tournament, we can help them get more players, and we can save our players expense money. You know, our first event was the day before the U.S. Open in Virginia. So we had 8 players qualified, all guaranteed $1,000. So they had the choice if they wanted to stay and play in the U.S. Open and help reduce their expenses for that. And we're doing the same thing here. We have 10 players qualified for this event, and hopefully we help save all of them some expense money while they're here for the week playing at the Derby City Classic.
Yeah, and we are playing here on a Diamond Pro-Am. Beautiful table made by Diamond Billiards in Jefferson, Indiana, just right up the street here from the Horseshoe Casino. It is destination pool.
Well, for any pool players, it's pool heaven, you know.
Yeah, the whole pool family's here.
And that's another thing that I'm happy about. We actually have 4 players qualify for our event that had never been to Derby City. you know.
Oh, nice. So they get to see both things. That's great.
Yeah.
Hits the 7, tries to come up behind the 8. Nice shot.
That's really good speed right there.
He may have left him a window, though. It's hard to tell from our angle. So
Yep.
we are at an angle. Let's take a look.
You're
Appears
right.
as
From
if
this
he can
angle, you can-
see it.
And he's looking at it. And we play American rotation, Alvin, with, if you do a jump shot, you must use your playing cue. You can't use a jump cue and you can't use a break cue.
That's good. That'll keep the skill level high and the kicking and banking departments.
That's the purpose of us playing 15-ball rotation. We're trying to make the American players raise their game up a little bit. We got sick of hearing, and we love all the Filipino players, but got sick of hearing they're so good because they grow up playing rotation, and we weren't doing anything about it. So we decided to do something about it.
Yeah, the rotation is the ultimate game for sure. So this is a good way to introduce the pool world into a system where it works within our U.S. pool scene, which has a lot of characters in it where those characters have attitude problems and usually issues with the racking of the
You're right.
racking and
You're right.
breaking is always the thing that starts arguments. And that's good that you are bringing the level of the skill of the U.S. players up and the players of the world that choose to play, and introducing 15 ball
Yeah.
into our sport at a professional level. So good job. And you're the man to do it, Joe. You're the main teacher right now. So
Well, you know, Alvin, this format would probably actually cost me more money than anybody because there's no racking secrets to be sold here. You know, I get those DVDs on 9-ball and 10-ball
Yes,
racking secrets.
right.
I don't even want to sell them. I want the sport
Well,
to
that was a
step
different
forward.
time. That was a different time in your life, and the whole, in the pool, in the
Oh, I
evolution of the pool life, and where that was necessary. Those kind of
Just
books.
don't want.
This is the evolution.
Well, my main motivation with the 9-ball racking secrets was to show everybody how bad it was and why we shouldn't be playing it. That was my main motivation. Actually, I wrote a free article for a magazine that I submitted. I didn't want to write a book, but they called me back and said, "Wow, this is good stuff. Can you write a book on this?" I'm like, "I guess so."
Nice. Well, when I see the pro players asking you for advice, that tells me that you know what you're talking about. So
I do have a lot of fun when I get to give a pro a lesson, and at the end of the lesson, they all say the same thing. I cannot believe I didn't come here years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
I just love it.
All
Okay,
right.
I'm going to say that.
Did you lose track? See how easy it is?
I'm pretty close,
So
and
easy.
I'm gonna get the updates, but I think the score right now is 15-5 in favor of Rob. Now, the only rule you need to know here, whoever makes the last ball of the first rack will start the break, ball in hand, alternating break process. So it's going to be Rob's break, and after the break, he's going to start with ball in hand. He doesn't have to make a ball on the break. He could even scratch on the break. No matter what happens here, Rob's going to start with ball in hand after.
And you are watching American rotation.
Yeah. The only requirements, like if you look at the rack, and it's a little tough to see, but I'll tell you, the only requirements we have for racking is the 15 is up top. Behind the 15 is the 2 and the 3. The middle of the rack is where the 1 ball is. And right behind the 1 is the 13-14. So it's just those 6 balls. The other balls can be in any order. But it's 15, 2, 3, 1, 13, 14.
And that keeps the pattern racking
Yeah, well, I don't
ability out of it because they can't dress up the 1 ball easily
Well,
because
that's
it's
why
in
we
the
put
center
the
of the
one.
match.
That's why we put the
center
1.
of the rack.
You know, you can still.
It's an equalizer. It stops arguments and saves time. He did a little pop break there.
Well,
He's going to get a
that's
lucky
perfect.
carom.
No, that's perfect break because he's going to get ball in hand now out. He doesn't have to make a ball in the break. And I think he spread them out perfectly.
Yeah, he's got room
He did get
to
that
maneuver.
one cluster down in the bottom left there.
Well, he can break that out right now with this shot on the one if he chooses. But he's going to go the other way, which makes sense because he has to go up table just a touch. But
Is this the 2-ball in the bottom left, or is it under the side pocket? That's why I'm a little bit colorblind, so you're going to have to help me.
yeah, we're kind of far from the table here too, so we'll.
That's a pretty good. I can see those colors. Okay, 1, 2. He's really, really tough here from the 2 to the 3. And these guys are playing with Cyclops balls, right? For this whole Derby City?
Yeah, they
New sponsor?
Cyclops balls and Diamond are working together, Diamond Billiard Products.
And I heard the Cyclops balls are using the same formula as the old Centennials were made out of. I haven't had a chance to play. Oh, look at this shot. That was come out. No way you could come out any better than that. Tough shot on the 2.
Absolutely.
Just give him the ball, and he's perfect on
Yeah,
the
he's
3.
just up over the 15 just a touch, but that's okay. He's got a real nice.
And we got the
natural
4-ball
shot.
down here in the bottom left. He's probably going to settle for some kind of long
Looks
shot.
like he
there.
can hit English on it, so that's good.
He's hooked.
He's in trouble.
Yep.
He
hooked
just
up.
made life difficult.
We generally play cue ball fouls only. The only difference here is if you happen to move a ball accidentally during the course of a stroke, no matter what you move during the course, then that's a ball in hand foul for your opponent. And we're encouraging the players to call fouls on themselves. We're trying to form what we call the American Billiard Club Association, and the purpose of that association, 2 main purposes, is to reward our highest level players, help them save a lot of money on expenses getting there, but also to raise future players. It's got a great feeder system. We're trying to unite 64 of America's best pool rooms with 8 players at each one. So then we'd have 512 players around the country forming a legitimate, self-sustaining tour. And rather than throw a lot of money on top, we're just trying to save players money at the bottom, cut their costs.
That's good. That's very smart.
Well, I played out there on a lot of pro events, Camel Pro Tour, and I know all the pro players, and their biggest problem is the expenses. If you go to 10 tournaments a year, you're stuck 15, 20,000 right
Easy.
there. So we want to try to eliminate that 15, 20,000, so that way they don't. We want them to have sponsors, but we don't want them to have to get staked or backed or borrowed and
Sure.
sell their souls just to get to tournaments. We want to try to eliminate all their expenses. Nah, I just missed what happened here. Rob,
It's easy to do.
what happened? Rob kicked at the 4-ball? Did you notice?
Yes.
Kicked at the 4-ball and called it?
I'm not exactly sure. I was watching the broadcast settings here.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets very tricky doing all this at one time.
Oh, I'm just sitting here talking. I'm watching you, what you have to do all the time.
Well, you've been running Snooker Stream,
Well,
which
no,
we set up.
I'm such a rookie, though, Alvin.
Yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
such a rookie. I haven't had an official lesson over there.
Yeah, well, you're going to get schooled here because we use almost the exact same system.
Good.
So this will be your training ground.
Ray Mack's been doing really good at
Yeah,
Snookers
he's
with
good.
that stream.
Great guy.
Steve from Snookers, he's coming in Tuesday.
Oh, wonderful.
And I hope when I get back home in the future, this upcoming year, Steve wants to promote a lot of events at Snookers using that nice setup that you went in there and installed. 4 cameras, overhead lights, overhead camera.
They put the lighting in, but I did all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And Steve was right there with me working. He's got a good mind for mechanical things. So he gave, he actually revised some of my design ideas and said, hey, let's do it this way, which of course I'm always looking for the least expensive way out, and he wants quality and doesn't mind, going the extra couple steps. That's what I like about Steve Goulding. He wants to go all the way. When he does something, he wants to do it right, and that's the way I like to do it too. It's just the power, the ability. So he has the ability, and is a great guy too. So that's awesome. Snookers is a spot, and they got the best lighting rig in the country and camera rig in the country right now. So
nice.
They have the nicest system in pool.
I was there. We did the New England regional playoffs for this event that Mike DeShane and Joey Dupree, they won the spots there. And I was there. Upstate Al helped me a lot that day.
Sure.
Ray was unable to make it there that day, so I was running the tournament, and it was my first time running the stream by myself.
Nice.
And Al helped me get through it.
Good. Yeah, Upstate knows the stuff. Shout out to Upstate Al too, by the way, out there. Thanks for all your support with the Efren Earl match. We do appreciate that, sir. He was on top of it.
That was a great. I talked to him during that match. Mm-hmm. That was fantastic.
That was the ultimate match. Okay, we're giving up ball in hand here. See if anything moves. He's going to move out his cluster.
Yep. Now you see that ball that just went in?
It comes up?
Nope.
Stays down.
His opponent gets it. Ozzie gets credit for that ball.
Wow.
Nothing ever spots in American rotation. The only time you would spot a ball in American rotation is if you broke and an object ball went off a table. That ball would spot. That's the only time we have to spot a ball. If anybody needs any information on the exact rules, you can always go to AmericanRotation.com, or you can go to abcpl.info. And please feel free to email Joe Tucker. We're looking to add, we want to get up to 64 rooms in the country. Every player and every room owner that's doing it right now is really enjoying it. And if we get up to 64 rooms, our sport will have a legitimate, self-reliant, self-sustaining organization. We won't have to wait around for some magic millionaire or billionaire to sell us any
come
promises.
In and control and take over and dictate.
Yeah,
we
won't
that's
have to
what everybody
wait
wants, a
around.
dictator in the sport. Oh, come on, throw a bunch of money and take over our sport that we've crafted and turn it into whatever you want just because you got five more.
You're right. And I just want us players to form, the PGA started with a bunch of club professionals. They started their own tour, and they grew it from there. And unfortunately, we're 60 years behind them, but we can do the same thing. We can have 64 clubs build our own tour.
Well, the problem is
a lot of
there's
problems.
there's a lot of problems. But
all right, I think the score ended up 15-5 in that rack, so it potentially could be 20-20. And I'll peek out there to double check my score, but I think it's 20-20. It's Ozzie's rack. He's going to rack himself. He's going to break and take ball in hand. I asked him to keep scoring that little dry erase over there. So he's going to update it for us right now. Look at that. They keep score on a score sheet, but I asked them to put the totals during the rack.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to see that.
We're not going to be able to see that one.
No. But you can go out there
I'll
and
go
take
out there
a look
and
if you want.
When it gets a little bit closer. Right now it's about 20-20.
Let's see if I can eyeball that.
Okay, go ahead. Alvin's going to run out there. All right, American rotation. Nobody's quite figured out the right way to break. Ozzie hit him pretty firm there. He's made 3 balls on the break. He gets credit for all 3 of those balls. And he's got a great spread. So there's an advocate for the hard break. That worked out perfect. Me, on the other hand, I like to give myself a good rack, break at 60% speed. Score is 20-20, Alvin tells me. I like to rack them and break it like 60% just to ensure a good spread. But that would be a tough argument to fade after you just seen what Ozzie did right there. That was pretty perfect. I'm not quite sure what balls he made on the break. Shooting the 4 now. And I'm very happy to see Ozzie playing in this. He was one of the players that simply took action in Virginia. He's like, he saw our first nationals in Virginia. He's like, I want to play. And he took action. He went out and he got 7 other players to play out of pockets in Newport News, Virginia. And folks, that's what we need. We need players that simply want to play. You get to play 1 match of rotation, or you get to play 7 matches of rotation anytime in 7 weeks. And then the top 4 out of every 8 players at each billiard room go to a regional tournament that has 8 to 16 players at it, where they try to win spots at our national events like this. We built the format with the working or family man in mind, or just any high-level pool player that has a lot of responsibility at home or lives a sensible lifestyle, but is not going to turn that life upside down to go play 8 pro tournaments a year where they have to incur all those expenses and time away from business or job. It just doesn't make any sense right now. And we're going to get a nice run out by Ozzie here. This is going to be it's got 4 more balls for a perfect break and run out. And that's what everybody playing American rotation aspires to. They love the alternate break, and they start, and they're faced with the challenge and the opportunity to run 15 balls, which everybody feels good. I don't care how easy the table is. You run 15 balls, starting off with ball in hand, you're going to feel good, and you should. And like I was saying, any billiard club can get on board. We're looking to play on 9-foot tables. It just takes 8 players, and the playing level, it doesn't really matter, okay? Ideally, you'd have 4 really strong players and then maybe 4 aspiring players, because it's a very sensible and affordable way for aspiring players to play higher level players. This time around, some of the strongest players we had up in New England were Tom DeAlfonso, Joe Dupree, Mike DeShane. Down in Florida, we had room in Miami, had some strong players. Raymond Linares, James Roberts played out of Strokers in Palm Harbor. Qualifying from Miami was Jerry Calderon. He's here. Jerry's in the bank tournament right now. And our next session is going to start in March. And we're hoping to get 8 more rooms from California area. And we're going to have a national tournament in Vegas in July. Rob makes 1 on the break there. Alvin, you just missed Ozzie broke and ran out.
Oh, nice.
Our first perfect run out of the tournament.
All right, very good, Ozzie.
And he leads 40-20. And I think Rob made the 13 ball on the break. So what I'm telling you is, if you love pool, I don't care what level you're at, talk to your local room owner and tell them to contact Joe Tucker to try to get 8 players together to be part of the American Billiard Club Association and part of the American Rotation Championship Series.
Yeah, I'll talk to my room is Fiddlesticks in North Canton, the room I go to.
Chris Zuda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if he's on the team or not, but I'll.
He's not. That'd be a perfect room.
I'll get him in contact with you. They got a lot of players down there. They got some good players too.
Well, I was just telling the
Chris
folks.
is a good player.
Yeah, I used to play in the Camel Pro Tour with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first met him.
He plays real nice pool. He plays on Diamond Professional, the old one that are really tough. So.
Oh, with the pro coach, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that would be perfect. And like I said,
Ben Zimmer, he's another great player from Fiddlesticks. I don't know if you know him or not, but he's a
I don't know
real
Ben.
nice player. He plays with Chris every day, and Chris would beat on him for years and years, and then all of a sudden,
that's one of the
here
best
comes
ways
Ben.
to learn, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're doing good here.
I'd love to get Chris on board. I'm surprised. I haven't
We'll
seen
work
him
on that.
here this week.
He's busy with his business. Somebody's got to run Fiddlesticks. That's what happens with a lot of these guys. They're dedicated to their pool rooms. Played a nice shot there. Nice speed. You got to really hit the ball soft on this table. It's bright lights, brand new cloth.
Oh, it's a little hot out there, yeah.
This is the first match played on this cloth, actually, so they're going to be slipping around, sliding.
I think he's going to try to slide between the 5 and the 9.
I
But
would.
like you said, it's tough to control.
It is. You got to hit them super soft on this table.
Mm-hmm.
But hitting pool shots soft is the way to step up from the top amateur level to the highest levels, because you have to know how to hit balls soft. It's very difficult, don't you think so? To get that down?
I think it's one of the thousands of things that's very difficult about pool, you know. Nobody really knows how many different skills these players need to play at such a high level.
Yeah, it's so hard to not hit the balls too hard, though. It's very difficult. Especially when you're fatigued. You want to start really hitting them hard, you know. Or tired or bored.
Rob's doing his best to battle back and answer that run out. And that's one of the best feelings I get is watching guys trade back-to-back racks. It doesn't happen very often, but you see guys break a run out, score 20 points, and the next guy comes back and runs 20 points. It's just one of the best feelings that I ever got watching a pool match or playing it myself.
Yeah, that's always awesome.
He's back in line, folks. I mean, this is great play. And these players have just hopped on this table, you know, probably had a half an hour to warm up. They never played there. He didn't even have to bump the 9.
Well, you know they've been training.
Rob owns bumpers, and I hope I don't dog this. I think it's, well, I'm just going to say I'll give them both a plug. It's either in Hoover, Alabama, or Huntsville, and I always get them mixed up because David Rowell owns the other bumpers. I actually stopped in Rob's. I went on a road trip, Alvin, in June, try to get some rooms going, and I stopped at Rob's room, and he wasn't there. We only talked on the phone, but I was in love with the room. It's like an ocean of diamond pool tables.
Nice.
Oh my God! It's I can't remember the exact numbers, but I'm going to say 8 to 12 9-footers and 20 to 30 7-footers, all diamonds, all blue cloth. You look across the room.
That's amazing. It's you could have that many.
It's gorgeous. And
that
he's
many
coming
players.
with the run out. Look at these guys.
Nice.
15 ball. You know, we want to try to get maybe some challenge matches after.
Sure. Whatever we can do.
You know, we'll be running matches all day today and tomorrow, the finals. Then we have the straight pool, the George Fells Memorial that we're going to be streaming here.
He butchered that shot. He didn't take enough time preparing for it. He didn't look at the line properly.
Look what's going to happen here, Alvin.
Wow.
What's going to happen?
The only place on the table where...
But guess what?
Oh, he gets to take the shot again. So he has to kick this ball there's a way to hit this shot, and
He has to
stepping
call.
right
He
up.
has to call safe. He called the corner pocket.
Yeah, and I don't like not looking at the angles from both ways with the cue and using the cue as the tool here. I don't like just feeling this and being creative and kicking like Efren.
Yeah.
You know, that's just reckless.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
he's
just going to
scratching.
see how reckless that was. You really got to plan that out, that move out, and exactly what's going to happen with everything. You can't just
Well, I'm
say,
with you on that.
I'm an artist and I'm going to just judge how that
Well, Efren
everything's
can,
going to. Yeah,
right?
but he's Efren. He
But
plays
I'm
a
with
lot
you.
of three-cushion billiards.
I like to use a system to get me in the neighborhood, and then I use feel for the other half. And it's 50-50.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big swing here, because here's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
He's only going to get 4
Recklessness.
points. Ozzy's only going to get 4 points, but instead of 20-0, it's 16-4. So Rob only gained 12 points instead of 20. You know, it's an 8-point swing on just that one error.
Well, now he has ball in hand and his break. So
But I'm saying he
That's
could have
gonna
tied
cost
it up. It could have been 40-40.
absolutely. But now it's going to be
32-44. That's not correct.
and I see this in all the
36.
9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball. I don't care what game it is. It's
Swings.
just get up there and don't look at any angles. Don't just totally trust your own vision, which is always a bad thing.
Not always, but you're 90% right. Sometimes you can just see a shot.
Like Earl, Earl don't have to look at the angle.
You know, Tony Robles once asked Ginky, how do you kick so good? You know what Ginky said?
What?
He said, Tony, you're going to think I'm nuts, but I see white lines on the table.
Nice.
He says, I see them like
Nice.
tracks.
Yeah, nice.
And me and Tony were just like, wow. You
That's
know?
awesome.
I'm so jealous. I mean, all right, I didn't see what he made on the ball on the break there, but I know he made something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Looks like he made the 10-ball.
Yeah, the 10 or the 12, right?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Good eyes, Alvin.
We'll see, though.
I'll tell you what.
The 10. It's tough with this. I want the Cyclops balls with the different colored, the new colors. I'm going to ask Chad about. What do you think about that? Would that be all right?
Yeah.
If we switched up? It's so much easier to tell.
Well, we'll be lost no matter what, the 10 and the 12, right? Oh, no, the 12 would be pink.
They're different. They're all different. They're real easy to tell.
Well, I loved watching those last 2 racks. Ozzie coming with 20 points, and then Rob almost came right back with the same thing. And that's generally, I mean, I can't say that's how they flow, but it does flow very well with the break ball in hand. It speeds up the matches.
Yeah, that's so critical for the production about the video production. He's going in the hole.
All right, so that one ball that Ozzie made is going to go to Rob. Rob gets credit for the 1, and he's going to get ball in hand.
That's such an easy ball to scratch onto. That shot, I mean, I can't count how many times I've watched that ball go in like that for myself.
And he didn't have too much of a choice. He had to take that path towards the 2 ball, where it was.
Like we were talking about, this is brand new cloth, and it just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls.
This is a great opportunity for Rob, who was trailing 44-36, to steal points on Ozzie's break. And I tell all the players, like, they worry about who they're playing. Like we have Mike DeShane, who's the favorite in our tournament, and they worry about it. I'm like, listen, if you hold serve, you can score a lot of points on your rack. Oh,
Yep.
Rob, again, the speed got him right.
Definitely. Yeah,
If
he
you
definitely
hold
overrolled
serve, another great thing is if you did have 8 players at your local club, and say you're a B or a C player and you're playing with these top pros, it's more interactive than other games because the good player doesn't totally control the match with the alternating break ball in hand. The B or the C player is more involved.
Yeah, I like that.
They're going to get their opportunities at the table for sure. And with the 8 players at each club, we offer the players 2 classifications. They can sign up, and it's up to them. They choose if they're going to compete as a professional or as an amateur. And just like in golf, our amateurs, they're going to pay less money, but they don't compete for money. The pros are playing for money. The amateurs are playing for experience. You know, and an amateur can play these guys once a week for a 2 or 3 hour match for $15. You know, so between table time and the experience, I feel like they're if they don't do it, they're not really trying to help themselves.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Like you're saying, you want to bring up the level of the game in the United States. So
yeah, and if I was a B player and I got to play the best players around for $15 once a week, 15-ball rotation,
sure.
I'd be dying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit lost on the score on this one.
We'll take a look at that for you here in just a moment.
I'm hoping our other matches, we have 4 other matches going off right now that I'm in charge of. I'm hoping they're going okay. I don't want to jinx myself, but nobody's come saying Joe for the first time all day, so hopefully everything's going smooth.
Well, we are directly behind that diamond banner, standing right behind Ozzie, so it's probably going to be hard for them to find us back here, but if you need to go check on them, you go
see what happened right there? Ozzie called the 5-ball somewhere, and he lucked it into a different pocket. So Rob has the choice. If Rob takes the shot, Rob gets credit for the 5-ball. If he makes Ozzie shoot again, Ozzie's going to get credit.
Right.
Yeah,
but
and this is tough because the 6-ball's
can't make
hooked.
it. I mean, can make it, but it would take like an extreme spin shot, and you'd have to just be really, really good at
All I see is
kick.
The long rail come across. It's kind of like a one-pocket safety.
Sure.
And the best thing that's going to happen is it's just going to come out. The 6 will come back to the side.
But he could scratch off that. It could clip off that 6 and go right in.
Yeah, I would probably pass it back. He's looking at kicking at the end rail. I pass it back. He doesn't want to give up the 5-ball to Ozzie. That's the problem here.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to give up some pawns to take the queens.
Ah, nice analogy there.
Mm-hmm.
He might try to make the 6 and spin rail first. If he tries to make it, he could miss the whole ball.
Yeah, and
if he hits it full, he's going to sell out.
He's going to spin into this one and hope to kick it up table and leave the ball sitting there spinning right about where the 6-ball is.
I say one of 3 things. He's going to make it, he's going to miss it entirely, or hit it too thick and sell out. He might not sell out.
It's a speed. It's all speed. Kicked it up table. Yeah, he tried to leave it right where it was at, and it didn't work.
That was a pretty good attempt, though.
Yeah, it was a good attempt. It's nice how he made it die off the rail, but kept moving just a touch because, like we're saying, this is brand new cloth. There's no dirt on it or anything. That's the hardest game in the world is a lot of lighting with brand new cloth. The players often talk about wanting to have the cloth broken in, and they talk about how the tournament changes once the tables break in. They're all new cloth in the whole room.
Definitely.
The whole tournament will change because the dirtier cloth favors maybe the
better player, yeah. I mean, because the pockets get a little bit tighter. After these guys just played 2 fantastic racks, we're in a little bit of a struggle. He doesn't have to call. It's ball and pocket.
Gotcha. If it clips off another ball, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But this is still Ozzie. This was Ozzie's break ball in hand. So if Rob can steal all these points, it'll be his break, and we'll be close. They're playing a race to 125 points. I think 125 points will take 90 minutes. Usually it doesn't take more than 2 hours. We had a challenge match up there. That was actually the first time I worked with Ray on the stream at Snookers. We had Tom D'Alfonso and Joe Dupree.
Yep.
And they played 2 out of 3, raced to 125 points, and they played all 3 matches in less than 4 hours.
Nice.
Total. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Well, yeah, Tom's a great player. I mean, I've seen him beat Earl.
Well, they've both beat Earl. Joey Dupree won our first.
He plays good pool, too.
He won our first national title. He's the first ever in history. He's got that. Nobody else to take it away. First ever American rotation national champion. And he beat Tommy at the regionals to qualify. And he did the same thing at this regional. They had to play each other. And it was a great match.
Nice.
Tommy had the lead, and just Joey never gave up.
That's the way to do it.
And he's here, and this is Joey's first time at Derby City.
Awesome.
You know, a player of that caliber, first time here, and again, that's why we're building this. Because the guys that have families and jobs have a tough time getting out. I'm going to say it's somewhere around...
Let's take a look real quick.
48 to 52. Alvin's going to check on that one. But Rob definitely stole a lot of points on Ozzie's break. We have 3 other matches going on. Other tables that I can't see right now. Hopefully they're going well. With 10 players here, we had 2 groups of 5, and they're going to play a round robin amongst themselves. And we're going to take the top 2 from each group for single elimination tomorrow. There'll be 2 semifinal matches and 1 final match to 150 points each. And today, each player is going to play 4 matches today. You know, so they're looking at like 8 hours of play. Plus, we're juggling the bank schedule for a few guys. So they're in for a long day. 50 to 50, Alvin tells me. All right, I was close. Sweet. Nice match, 50 to 50. It went 20 to 20. Now it's 50 to 50.
You can see why he didn't want to give up that ball to Ozzie.
It's a tough decision sometimes. Let's see how Rob breaks him. You know, that's about 60 or 70% for him.
Sure. Yeah, that was about a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
For sure. An interesting
that's
pattern
the break
here.
that I like. And you missed it when Ozzie broke. Ozzie went all out, and it came out perfect. He made 3 balls in the break, and he had a nice spread, so it's tough to argue. And I like it going back and forth. Some guys, they like to go all out and break hard. And
what's neat is we're seeing new layouts that are not familiar with 8 ball or 9 ball or 10 ball. You know, seeing a whole new
just
lay.
Playing now. Obviously, if you say, Joe, if you play a 15 ball rotation, you'll get better. Okay, we know that.
Of course.
I'm telling you right now specifically that this will tighten up your cue ball better than anything because your mistakes are magnified. Instead of just being a little out of line, you're dead hooked. You know, so everybody's cue ball is getting better, and to me, I think that's the most important thing to high-level pool is having a good cue ball, staying in line.
This table, this Diamond Pro-Am is obviously happy. We're looking at the little smiley face here with this cue ball being the top of the smiley face, but now we're going to finish out this nice-looking layout here on this beautiful diamond table. We definitely want to thank Diamond Billiard Products for all that they do for this
I
Derby
want to
City
thank
Classic and our stream and everything.
I talked to Chad and Greg and told them what we were doing, and
they were all
said,
about it.
We'd love to have you. You know, they believe it's a good format, and if it reduces expenses and gets more players to other pro events, and that's unique. You know, most promoters they kind of work against each other.
Yeah, they want to nitpick everything, but
not
those guys. They trust it.
Yeah.
They know that you.
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to work with other promoters. You know, we want to get more players to their events. Okay, Rob's clearing this out with the. He's got the 5.
The 6 is just an easy shot.
Yeah, he's got a stun this
Natural
forward.
for the 7, 8 looks good.
That's a nice stun shot. He's going to come back across the table a little bit under the side. get like a 30-degree angle on the 7 would be perfect. He might follow it around with high inside. That's what it looks like he's cueing to me. Nope, he drew it low outside. Bad call, Joe. This is a really key shot because if he gets on the 8 ball, he's got potential for another run out. I love these run outs, Alvin. I love watching a guy run 15
nice.
balls. Oh, that's a little thick. But it's slick and new still, like you're talking about.
Absolutely.
At the end of the week, that ball won't go.
No, it helps and hurts.
Yeah. Well, tell you the truth, I'm kind of happy right now that they're playing a little bit easy for our guys.
Yeah, you just got to hit him that speed. That nice little pop shot speed. Just pop them around. Pop, pop, pop. Back to the center of the table. The cloth being so new will just let
the ball in.
Give you so much.
Can you tell which one's the 10 ball?
I believe at the bottom right hand pocket is the 10 ball.
This is definitely the key shot then.
Uh-oh, he missed it.
Wow.
Stood right up, but he got lucky again. Oh, no, he's giving him a window. He's got a cut on this ball.
Yeah.
So.
I think that might be the 10 ball right there because I think he was playing for the side pocket for that ball.
This one's the 10 ball.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, see the yellow? The 10 ball's right next to the 9.
Oh, okay.
From what I can tell. Let's look at camera 3 and that'll tell us. Yeah, that's the 10 ball there.
Okay, yeah, and that's the 12 over there. All right, perfect. Well, Ozzie's got a thin cut on the 9 ball. And it's going to be tough to miss the 10, not go into those other balls. Definitely can't pass the shot back. A little rough.
Oh, I was hoping for that last little flop over. Boy, you just knocked that
did a pretty good
into
job
that
with the cue
table.
ball, too.
Bump into that table a little bit. Paul falls. I've seen balls hang there for a while and then fall.
You know, that's one of the worst calls I've ever had to make as a tournament director. The ball hangs up for 3 or 4 seconds. They call me over. They tell me what happened. Supposedly, it's a 5-second rule. You know, if it sits there for 5 seconds. But can you imagine me going over between 2 pool players and trying to determine?
Be the bad guy.
Was it 5 seconds? One guy's like, yeah, no.
The other guys, of course, saying no. So, yeah.
And that rule has just not been taken care of.
What did you end up calling?
Every case is just an individual case. I pray that the players are being honest with me, and I ask them if they. Sometimes a guy bumps the table, you know, out of anger. The ball hangs, he bumps it, then it fell in.
Yep,
but it was only 3 seconds.
That's
I'm
a
like,
problem.
Yeah, but you bumped the table, you know.
You bumped the table. Bumping the table should be instantly to the other player.
Right.
If it goes in.
It usually does. That's usually the clincher. I look him in the eye and I'm like, well, you hit the table, you know.
Yeah, you hit the table, you made the ball fall.
Rob's going to go ahead. If he clears these balls, he's going to go ahead of them at 70-50.
Good little player here, this guy. I've never seen him play before. He does have a few issues he needs to work on, but for being a pool room owner, he plays pretty sporty.
Well,
having to deal with all that, running a business, and then being able to play at this level pool. It's like sort of like a D. Adkins style.
And he has a full-time job.
And a full-time job. Wow.
And
well, that's even
I think
more than D.
Right?
Wonder if he's got kids and a family, too.
Yeah, I should know that. That part I don't know.
That would be the ultimate.
But he is the exact, he's more than the exact reason we're building this. You know, obviously he loves to play pool, but he can't afford a lot of time away from 2 jobs and possibly the family.
Right.
Rob's a great guy. I've learned since I've met him. I only met him this year, and I look to him for advice on what he feels we're doing right or what we could do better. But he's the classic example. Ozzie's another example. These guys, they have normal lives, and if we can get them to pro events, our events will only take 2 days. We'll always run it on a Saturday, Sunday. So if the working man, he only has to get away for 3 or 4 days, they can all get that time off.
Well, with your rules of break your own and ball in hand after the break, you really can time those out properly. You can really make that happen, because a lot of these events, man, they'll sit there and rack and argue and fight about the rack and fight about it. Oh, he's going in the hole. No, he's all right.
Now, if he had scratched on the break, he would still get ball in hand, but any balls that he makes on the break go to his opponent.
I see.
That rule freaks out people more than anything. They're like, scratching the break, you still get ball in hand? It's a case of where the punishment has to fit the crime. You know, most of the time, if you scratch, you get kicked in. So it's like bad luck. I'm not going to give the opponent 20 points because of bad luck. So, and it's the same rule for both players. So it's
you're just
totally
taking
fair.
the luck out of the game. You're
taking some more. You can never get rid of all of it.
Yeah, you can't ever get all the luck out of the game, but you're cutting this arguing down. The arguing is the problem.
Our players get along more like straight pool players. You know how straight pool players get along with each other?
Absolutely.
But 9-ball players want to kill each other? Mm-hmm. These players get along a lot like straight pool players.
Yeah, because you're taking the luck and the break out of it, which is always the problem.
And
the arguing.
You know as good as anybody.
Oh my God!
When all the arguments start at the tournament, 99% start during the racking portion of the show.
Always during the racking. Always, you're doing this for the rack. You're doing that.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I think Ozzie made the 13 on the break.
I think it would be good to still try to learn how to make a ball on the break, so that when you do have to play rotation with, say, the Filipinos who want to, when you're in the Philippines or something like that, and you still want to have that skill level, I don't think that maybe is a good strategy for your system, but it's always good knowledge to still know how to make a ball on the break with a full rack.
Yeah, and I have never done a lot of research. Look at this kick.
There's too many random things in the rack. You can't,
with
do
eight
a
ball,
system with 8.
You have the one in the head ball you can play in the side.
Sure.
The 2 balls behind the one, you can learn how to play those.
In the side.
But I've learned, like if you look at this match again, I know Ozzie I believe he made the 13 ball on the break. And in our rack, the 13 and 14 are racked right behind the 1.
Yes.
I've learned to watch those balls go in, and it's due to spaces. It's due to accidental here. These guys aren't doing it.
Yeah, they're not tricking the racks.
But I never studied the 8-ball break like I did with 9-ball and 10-ball.
Sure. That's not what the pros are playing.
Yeah. But now since we've been playing rotation, I've been watching those balls behind the 1 ball, and they go in surprisingly a lot more. Rob's going to play safe here. And
there's many different strategies with your game. That's what I like about it. You say, do I want to make a ball on the break? Do I not? Do I just want to spread him perfectly? Do I want to hit him hard? Do I want to hit him soft? There's so many choices that you can have.
There's James Roberts coming in. Hold on 1 second. Well, we're on these 2 tables. Across the way, 34.
Keep going. You ready?
I got a little sidetracked talking to James. James has been helping us out down at Strokers with Rolando. He's been doing a really good job. James Roberts, he also another working pool player that sees the value of this format.
Great player, great for our sport.
Yeah, and he's going to hop in the booth whenever it's available. He's playing it in the banks.
It's always good to have a player that has knowledge of all the rules and has already been through the paces, me being just a beginner now. Nice little combo. Set the 4 ball up real nice. He goes up table for the 5, should be simple. Looks like he's got a shot on the 6. And then life becomes a lot easier.
We're shooting for 2 o'clock for that one. So far, we're getting lucky with the banks. Did they do the bank draw yet? I'm good, Alan. Okay, we're back. Just helping James with when he has to play his match.
It's the beauty of the live stream. You get to see the good, the raw, everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the interruptions. They
don't get to see it all, Alvin.
They don't get to see it
you are
all.
probably the busiest man in pool. You know.
I'm trying to help bring the sport up. So
I know, but I know because I've been getting around the last couple of years. You know, you missed me there. I was gone for about
you were gone
7 or 8 years.
Yeah, you were.
But since I've been back, I see you and what you do everywhere, and I have a hard time thinking anybody is any busier.
Well, thank you. I try to be a perfectionist, and that's how I was trained with my. I'm an Audi Volkswagen master mechanic, so I was trained with precision.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
I can take an Audi A6 all the way apart and put it back together. So yeah, so I try to work harder than anybody. I try to.
You have those skills, and you're here helping the pool world.
Yeah, I could be making $125 an hour when I choose to be here with Inside Pool because I believe in JR and what he did. And we're also here with NYC Grind, and we're presented by CNG Gas and ProPool.com. Ron Hoffman, who helped make all this happen, and Diamond Billiard Products. I'm Alvin with Inside Pool. I'm here with Joe Tucker, and you are watching the Derby City Classic American Rotation Tournament.
Yes. This is our national, we call it the American Rotation Championship Series, and this is our second national finals.
Nice.
National championship.
Well, you got a great little player here, with two great little players here with Rob and Ozzie.
And both, what I love, I mean, they both lit. Oh, it's a miscue.
Wow, he miscued and butchered that shot.
It's going to be another 8-point swing. Both of these guys live high-quality, responsible lives, you know. Ozzie's very busy. His job, his wife has a business in Virginia. He runs the Action Pool Tour, which is one of the best regional tours I've ever seen organized-wise.
Nice.
He runs a tight ship. He just ran the Virginia State 10-ball championship at Diamond Billiards.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I put the system in there, too.
Yeah. And you know what he told his players?
What's that?
He had a waiting list, and he had to sign up. He's like, if you are not there, if you're not paid and you're not there at 11:01, I will be giving your spot away. Some guys come in at 11:05. They said, we were in the parking lot. He's like, I got guys here. You know, they were all here. I got 61 players that were here before 11. I got to, you know, he runs a tight ship. It's beautiful.
You have to be precision when you're in this sport. Pool is all about precision.
Yeah.
And if you want to bring your game up, you bring yourself up. You bring your person up. You bring your precision up in life.
I'm with you. If my son doesn't show up at the tea time, guess what? They don't say, that's okay, Joe, just wait 15 minutes. No, you forfeit. You're disqualified. You're done. They're more responsible. Like you said, bring yourself up. I believe that pool players all of us need to act a little bit more responsible.
Sure. Yeah, we have fun, we're a really fun group of people, and all being creative. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's all right. Oops. We'll continue that thought in just a moment after Joe checks the score here.
79-61.
All right, 79-61. But it all begins inside of each player's mind. It's their decision, the way they dress, the timing that they wish to wake up every day. If they'd like to, bring the sport up, they got to bring themselves up. And all these pros and myself and I'm sure yourself, we all got to tighten the ship. You want to make more, you got to be better. He made a ball. He made two.
See that ball? That 13 again was the ball behind. He made the 3 inside and the 13.
Are they going to the same pockets? Or no? That's the only.
I don't worry about the 3 in the side because that ball is definitely playable. The ball's behind the 1, and I haven't had time.
Yeah.
I know it's due.
It's so new.
I know it's due to a space. I like what you're saying, though. We have to ask more of all pool players. I think, we have never asked a lot of the pool player. We haven't asked them to be responsible the way maybe golfers ask their players to be on time, call penalties on themselves, look appropriate, pay in advance, show in advance, be on time, all that stuff. I think we just have to ask that of the pool players and hopefully start raising
Sure.
a more responsible breed of players.
Well, it all makes sense if you follow the line all the way back. Everything makes sense and why it is what it is. But,
Yeah, and that's what I've done. It does. Like, it frustrates me, but it makes sense. I understand how most pool players were raised.
How this developed.
And we got to try to fix it or help it.
It's because I believe it's an individual sport in a world where team dependence is part of the system, and it is promoted within the system. The team mentality, the hive mind, the individual player, the individual thinker. Yes, you have it in golf, but pretty much it's very rare.
This is a very individualistic
I've thought through
sport.
all this stuff.
It's very individual,
and
that's why it's so tough to unify everybody.
The system doesn't want. I'm not talking about. I just mean the general system doesn't want the individual to become super smart, super dependent. They always want the team. So that's why I believe in the United States the pool hasn't become a big sport, is because it's such an individual, powerful thing. But now our whole country and our whole world is changing, and I believe that now it's becoming more accepted, that individual, and with the addition of all this reality TV where there's bringing all these individual power is something that's promoted nowadays and looked at. So I think pool's time is coming soon, and just all the insider information that I know, being where I am in the sport, I mean, I'm pretty much at the top of the pyramid with information.
Right.
But pool's on its way, big time, and I know you are too. So there's
we're trying.
Secret knowledge, that
it's coming up.
But anyway, we're watching American Rotation here. So I go off on a tangent
okay.
here on InsidePool.tv.
Rob just played safe. He made the 1, 3, and 13. He's leading 79 to 61. Actually, now it'll probably be 83 to 61.
Yeah, I don't like shooting at that ball just because of that action right there.
Oh, they're close to the pocket, but they are laying very tough for Rob.
I think that ball goes if you roll it more instead of trying to punch that ball.
And Ozzie, he shot at the 2 ball, so Rob has the choice to give it back. But it'd be really tough to pass this back, and the ball's staring him right in the face, but he doesn't see anything good. He's probably going to hit the combo very hard because the 2 ball's going to leave there. He's going to draw the cue ball if he shoots the combo. I think he's ducking. Looks like he's, let's see. Yeah, he's bringing the cue ball around 2 rails, playing nice safety.
That was my fault. I made him miss. I switched the camera right when he was hitting the ball.
No, he was playing safe. You're good. No jinx
there.
Good. I think he left the window, though. You might be responsible for that.
It's always my fault, I've come to realize. I made him miss.
Look at the window he's got between 11 and 15, right at this 2 ball. How'd you do that, Albert?
Wow, the only spot on the table where you really just don't want your opponent to be. Look at this, and once again,
he left him a shot.
Left a nice shot here.
This is a very important rack for Ozzie.
Now this is like I'd play this ball with like a 7 o'clock English to where it dips and dives.
7 inside. 7 o'clock inside.
Yeah, I'd like to go. Like that on this ball and play the 5 in the same pocket that his hand's right at there.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
That's what he did, kind of, but he went up table. Oh, okay, the 9 clears perfectly, I see, with the roll down. Okay, got it. I didn't know if the 5 was blocked by the 9 there, but obviously not. Yeah, he's clear. He's totally clear of that pocket.
Is that the 6?
That's the 6, yep. Yes, he's got natural rolling position down to the 6. He cues up real close to the cue ball, too, which is something real high on my list.
He hit that one perfect.
He sure did. He may be too straight, but, oh, he's good on the 7. He just needs to just roll off the rail a little bit. We'll see. Take a look at the other angle here.
This was a very important rack because Ozzie began this rack about 18 points behind, and it's coming down to crunch time. I've been trying to get, obviously, as many players as possible to play this, and we haven't had too many professionals. Like I said, I hope we do some challenge matches this week.
Yeah,
I find it very hard to believe that any professional player is not going to prefer this over the luck of a 9-ball or 10-ball break.
Well, that's why you're here at Derby City doing this tournament, so that you're starting to get more people seeing it. And with our broadcast as well, blasting out across the galaxy, you're going to be picked up on this world and other worlds. So who knows? You might have off-worlders playing 15 American rotation, my friend. You never know. Just never know.
I'll settle for 500 Americans.
Sounds good. The preferred galactic system.
The system that we set up, it's perfect to raise future players and to reward the current high-level players. It's like baseball where you get the major leagues, but you also have the AAA, the farm-type system.
I don't like what he just did here with his feet.
The feet.
He needs to reset everything now instead of standing up, getting down in the same stance. That is so bad.
Alvin's been watching a lot of pool, folks, and so he's picking up the finer details. But he's right.
He's going to be okay.
Resetting is always good advice. If you change your mind, start from the top.
Right, because you're in that last angle that you looked at. So yeah, I definitely see tons of pool. I see all the reasons why they miss, and that's a big one. The not resetting, getting up and then right back down. I've seen them miss a lot. But he was lucky there. And skillful as well. Some players can outplay mechanical errors. Yeah, and they're so good at pocketing balls like your Earl Strickland's. Even though his mechanics aren't bad, he doesn't need to look at the angles. I mean, Efren too. He could just get down on a ball and wherever it's at and fire it at any pocket.
I'd like to see Efren and Earl. I wanted to go to New York and tell Manny. I did send Manny an email. I'm like, let's have him play rotation. He's like, maybe next year.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
that was the pinnacle, that's for sure.
I think Rob got all those balls there.
I'll take a look at the score update.
I'm thinking it's 99 to 61. And that's one thing about American rotation. When you add the two scores together, you'll always be able to divide it by 20. So right now, like, they should have a grand total of 160 points after 8 racks. So it's coming down to crunch time. Ozzie cannot afford, definitely, this rack to lose many points. Alvin confirms 99 to 61. Hard break by Ozzie. He makes 1 ball. Scratch. Okay, Rob's going to get credit for that ball that Ozzie made on the break. I believe it was maybe the 4 ball. I'm not sure what ball. But his opponent gets credit for that ball. And that's the penalty for the scratch on the break. That's a topic that freaks everybody out. And like I was saying earlier, you need a punishment that suits the crime. 20 years ago, if you scratched on the break, we'd spot all balls and your opponent would get ball in hand behind the line. And sometimes it was so bad that you'd give your opponent the ball in hand. It was not a big advantage. And then we switched to what they call Texas Express. And keyword being express. They wanted to speed up the tournaments and speed up 9-ball. Alvin just came back.
Yes.
Alvin, I was telling him 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when you scratched on the break playing 9-ball, we'd spot all the balls, and your opponent would get ball in hand behind the line, and you'd either have to shoot sometimes you have to spot 2 balls, so you had nothing offensive. You had to play safe. So it wasn't a really bad punishment to scratch on the break way back when.
Gotcha.
But then when they switched to Texas Express, it became like a mortal sin to scratch on the break because a pro runs out 90% of the time with ball in hand.
Absolutely.
Easily. So everybody in the last 20 years has gotten used to a severe penalty for scratch on the break.
Absolutely.
Now, when they watch American rotation and the guy scratches on the break and he still gets ball in hand, that's when people say, what? And I try to tell them, we need a penalty that suits the crime. If it's your break and ball in hand, you scratch, I give your opponent ball in hand, it could be a 20-point penalty for what? Bad luck? You know?
Well, I'd simply tell them to try it. I could sit here and explain to you all day about the benefits of it, but just try it. Just try it.
That's all. Everybody that's playing it is loving it. So I'm tickled pink and relieved. You know, I tested all the rules in the game for about a year and a half before I showed anybody outside of my home how to play.
Sure. It's just like you can explain to somebody, hey,
And
octopus is really, really good to eat. And they're going to say, oh, my God, that looks terrible. Why would you want to eat something with 8 legs?
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. Oh, let me explain to you why it's great. No, just try it. Just try it.
I'm with you, Alvin. I like that.
I don't like using food analogies.
No, but that was a good one.
Something that I thought might. All right, Ozzie.
He's facing a
Eyeballing.
safety or a bank. You know, and I like that. He has to make a decision. You know, he's either going in or he's not going in. And I asked all the guys at the players' meeting, you know, anything you want to change.
Well, you're in Kentucky right now, so I look for this ball to go.
Oh, bad cue
Not-
ball. Bad cue ball.
Well,
That could have cost him the match.
He can give him the shot back if it was really funny, though, right? If there wasn't a.
Hey, he's not going to give ball in hand back.
No, I'm saying if there was a problem, say, where there was 5 balls clustered, and there's no way that his shot, no matter with ball in hand or whatever, was going to be good enough that he could actually tell him, you pull the ball out and you take ball in hand.
Well, you don't have to pull the ball out.
Normally
you
you would.
spot
No,
him.
I mean the cue ball.
You pull the cue ball out.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that happen.
No.
But I'm glad you brought up like the 4 or 5 balls clustered.
It's a possibility, though.
No, we have a 3-foul rule, and it's not loss of rack. If you get your opponent on 3 fouls, your opponent gets what we call a free shot, which means they can hit any ball on the table they like, and to break up any clusters they like, and then they get ball in hand to start. So it's like 2 ball in hands in a row. We call it a free shot. We needed a solution for the 3-foul because I don't want guys just ducking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trying to get their opponent on 3 and win
Sure,
the whole
because
rack.
that's to waste so much time when they click, when they sit there and clip the ball 50 times. I mean, just touch it, barely touch it.
And I'll tell you, we might not see a 3-foul because the reward is fair. It's nice to get a free shot and then ball in hand, but it's not motivating enough to always try to get your opponent on 3.
Rob has really good mechanics. He's very solid. He uses the cue as the tool, as the guide. I like he's not doing this flopping down. He leaves his cue in line and he steps into the shot, sort of.
Here's a theory that I have. I feel like the most dangerous pool players, and I'm just talking about American pool players, are smart left-handed players.
Lefties are so good, man.
But smart ones.
Yes.
They had that little bit about playing the right way.
They know.
Right?
They got that extra advantage.
Brain
power.
And Rob is that,
Yeah.
He's technically smart, but then he has the feel of the lefty.
Yeah, that's where somebody like J.R. Calvert's very dangerous. He's a left-hander and he's really smart.
Holy cow, Michael. What time's your bank match?
What?
Do you know what time your bank?
1:45.
All right, Mike DeShane just joining us for some chatter.
Giving me some results. He totally dominated his match.
And he's going to walk right through the arena, which is just fine. If you're Mike DeShane, you can pretty much walk wherever you want to walk.
Like he gets on that stream whenever possible, Alvin.
He's a great player, one of the top 10 in the country. He plays top 10 speed pool.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I think that I just seen a foul. Did I see a foul? What happened? No, not a foul.
He's not happy with his position.
He bumped the ball. This is a new rack, and I was talking to Mike. I am not up to speed on the score, but I got 67, maybe. I'm gonna say it was like 113 to 67 going into this rack. And it was Rob's break.
It says 99.61. I don't know.
I was going to try to get an update for the score for us. That was a really good kick shot by Rob. Ozzie's going 2 rails in that one with the Z kick. What Rob's doing over there, he's updating the score for us just on the dry erase board for the people watching the match. And for us, but we really can't see it. That didn't work out too good. But Alvin's going to check out the score. Rob's got ball in hand. On the 4-ball, I'm sorry. I believe he's playing for 12, and he's already got 3 points. His 4, he should be at 117 right now. And if I'm right, I'll just count your right through it. We're racing to 125. I believe he's in the neighborhood of 118. There's a pretty substantial lead. Nice little force jacked up shot. 119. This is very tough. The 7 to the 8 is. Going to try to go forward, catching the long rail and the end rail coming up above the spot. Wow, you got a really good shot on the 8-ball there.
I didn't see him.
You need to go over and change it. I'm not sure. I think he's about to run out. Should be around 121 to 67. This match went back and forth from 20-20, 50-50.
68's the score. Well,
Okay.
That's what they wrote down, plus whatever he's done here.
Okay, we went into this rack at 112 to 68.
Okay.
Rob has 8 points, so that puts him right at 120.
Well, and if you're looking at 120, okay, gotcha. Well, if you're looking at the bottom of the screen, you will see the little red bar becoming closer and closer to the end of the video. So we want to thank you definitely for joining us for the American rotation here at the Derby City Classic. And
we're going to stream 5 matches today.
Nice.
And 3 tomorrow. We'll just have the 2 semifinals and 1 final.
very nice.
Rob plays safe on the 9-ball.
Great.
There was one other
Great
stripe.
safety.
There's one other stripe missing. I don't know who got it. The 10 or the 12 ball.
Well, once again, he didn't look at his angles, and all you had to do was look at your angles there. Walk around the table for 5 seconds and look at your angles.
Folks,
And you're
if
going
you
to
don't
see a
think Alvin
tremendous difference.
really feels that,
Yeah,
you're crazy. He's looking at me like I did. I didn't go over and measure.
At least take a look. You know, it's too hard. It's too much. Too much on the heat.
Well, I think Ozzie's pretty much he might have thrown the towel in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was a give-up shot there. 'Cause he
121 to 68.
if you're playing for, $50,000, you're going to go look at that shot for a few minutes, for a few seconds. Excuse me.
Yeah, so why not look at it for 1,000, right?
Right, or anything. Look at Ralph Sakay. He's down there behind us. He's playing every ball like it's Moscone Cup time. It's super serious, man. That's where bringing emotions
another
into
miscue. That's
letting
2.
Emotions enter your game is very bad. He's having a miscue problem here.
Yeah,
He must have put a new tip on.
that's the problem. Sometimes going to pro events and you see the tip guy set up and you just want to go over there and get a new tip.
Yep, and there you go.
Do we have Joe Blackburn here? I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet.
He's up. He's in here.
Awesome.
He's in the room that has a mock-up of the Pantheon, which is the rotunda in Rome that Hadrian built, I believe. But it's represented here at the Horseshoe Casino in southern Indiana.
Ozzie's going to prolong his death a little bit. But what does matter here to Ozzie, even though he loses this match, the amount of balls that he scores during this could come to help decide whether he makes the cut or not.
Nice.
We'll go by win-loss records, but then a tiebreaker will be the ball count, how many balls you won by and how many balls you lost by. So every ball that he gets here could help him.
It's very interesting. It punishes you for your sloppiness and emotional.
And pays you for every ball you make.
Yeah, so
that's what I love.
The emotional give up. I give up. I'm just going to let him finish it out. That is a surefire in a normal tournament. That's not a penalty. But in this kind of format, the give up is a penalty because you want to make that cut. You want to make as many balls as you can. So even though he has to make a few balls, Rob only has to make a few balls. The more balls that Ozzie makes, even though he knows he lost, pretty much.
And I saw one match, Alvin.
Interesting new
I saw one match at the regional tournament where the player needed 1 point, and it was his break ball in hand. His opponent needed 7 points. He didn't get a good shot at the one. He tried to jack. He missed the one. He had break ball in hand. He missed the one. His opponent won the match.
Yeah, there's no room for give up or adding emotion into the shot. I've really come to learn that is such a deciding factor in the pro level pool. When emotions start affecting the machine, if you will, the machinery of the body's natural pool playing ability. If you can take your mind out of and just let your body do the work for it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different things.
So much in this game. So many levels. So many dimensions. Yeah, this is it's totally different. I'm enjoying everything. I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff here, Joe. I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff in your system, and I can't see anything wrong with it, really.
The players are
in
loving
my opinion.
It. Players are loving it, and that was a
Hit
foul.
That way too hard.
See how he moves that ball with his hand during the shot? That's going to be a ball in hand foul.
Well, that's the end. They're going to give. I don't blame Ozzie for saying, "Come on, man, I'm done."
Well, I don't know if you meant
it's not.
I think Rob needed 1 or 2 points, but 125 to 79. Rob Hall of Alabama defeats Ozzie Reynolds of Virginia, formerly of Virginia, now going to be Henderson, Nevada. He's moving with his wife. And that's our first match of American Rotation Championship Series 2, live from Derby City.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe, for joining us for Inside Pool TV and NYC Grind. We want to thank you very much for showing up.